There's a lot of that going on. Just wholesalers calling wholesalers, wholesaling fast, but there's no real product. Okay, you do that long enough. Hey my friend, this is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Hey, I have a question here. Let's get through it. So I get a call today off one of my signs. Congratulations. Guy says he has 6 properties scattered around my market. A couple a little further out. Here's my problem. He wants $5,000 a piece for 3 of them, $150,000 for 2 of them, and $300,000 for an old commercial store. But I researched all 6 and not one of them have the same name as owners. 6 different names. One's an LLC, and not one has this guy's name that called me. What's up with that? Man told me he owned them. Yeah. You know, it gets real. It's dirty in the game right now. I'm sorry to say real estate wholesaling is a little bit dirty. It's a little bit all over the place. And I understand if you feel like, you know, you're wasting your time. I understand. But I guarantee you can avoid all of that, okay? I have, in the last 2 days, I've had at least 2 different occasions like that. First, I had one guy that called me from one of my advertisements online, and he says, hey, you're a buyer. What are you looking for exactly? Well, that sign was not designed for him. It's a real estate wholesaler calling my line to find out what I want to buy. Well, mostly what I do is wholesaling, and I don't necessarily want him calling my line as a wholesaler. It's designed for real sellers to call, but that's what you have. You have a bunch of wholesalers right now calling other wholesalers' lines and basically trying to do business with each other when there are no real products. There are 3 P's in every business. There's product, there's process, and there's people. When you don't have a product, you have a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. I want you to let that sink in. When you don't have a product, you have a Ponzi scheme that basically is not sustainable and you can't survive. Basically what you have is a process and people with no products. That's a Ponzi scheme. You need a product. You need actual real estate at some point. People can be the product. It's called media company, okay? But at some point, real business has to exchange hands. Sometimes information is the product. I do information products here. So it's sometimes, you know, it's the information you're selling, you know, but that will serve as the product. Bottom line is the need for a product. When somebody calls my line and they're asking me, what kind of property do you, and that's all the people that I get, that's a failed, you know, it's a failed marketing format, okay? Because basically we're talking to each other. There are no products to exchange hands. There's no services to exchange hands. Now, could that be in the future? Yes, it could be. So that's a good argument. It could be. But what I'm trying to say here is that there's a lot of that going on. Just wholesalers calling wholesalers, wholesaling fast, but there's no real product, okay? You do that long enough, you get tired, you get frustrated out of the business, okay? The other thing I want to mention here is my brother called me just like yesterday or so, and there's this guy who wants to sell a property in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and the guy was like, you know what, I have this property to sell. You're a wholesaler, right? Anytime somebody gets on the phone with you and they're trying to sell you a property and they go, you're a wholesaler, right? Chances are there's no deals there. It could be. They may just know something, and they may be offloading something they absolutely don't want. But that's not the kind of seller you're looking for. You're looking for a seller who owns a property who is not necessarily in the business. They're just regular consumer. They have a property they need to offload, and they called you. If they already know that you're a wholesaler, right, chances are they're trying to be slick. They're probably somebody who was doing a deal and the deal fell apart, and they're just looking for someone to network with to sell the property. Could you do some business from that? Yes, you can. And really all you need to do is switch mode in the conversation and say, yeah, what do you got? You got a property to sell? What's the deal? Tell me the story. Change the tone. You're not talking to a seller anymore. You may just be talking to someone you can build a network with. You can network with them and you can do some business in the future, but there's no deal right now. Bottom line. Usually there's no deal right now. So what's my point with that? My point is that Yes, wholesalers are calling each other. Wholesalers are calling because they have a property and they call another guy who is a wholesaler who is trying to acquire a motivated seller, and the wholesaler is calling them with 6 properties that's not necessarily on his name, okay? And that's happening, okay? Now, could there be a legitimate business deal there? Yes, I want you to be open to that, okay? It's just a new horizon, okay? I want you to be open to that starting right now. When people call you and there are other wholesalers, just take advantage of it to network with them. You never know. You may have someone in your network that you can leverage with. It's actually part of the business plan that I put together in Smart Real Estate Wholesaling that you can learn from. It's about learning how to generate leads and deals in unconventional ways. Sometimes it's by partnering in joint venture with other real estate wholesalers, okay? So it's something you can take advantage of. The only thing I'm telling you is tone down your expectations. Does that make sense? Turn it all the way down, your expectations, because you're going to have a lot of more and more real estate wholesalers will be calling your bandit signs. They'll be calling you from your Craigslist listings. They'll be calling you from anywhere you list something. You just, put together 2 or 3 questions and ask them. I say, you know what, send me a text message with your number and I'll add you to my list. Add them to your buyers list. That's all. Add them to your buyers list because they may have somebody in their network that will become valuable for you in the nearest future. You just never know, right? If they have something that they want to sell, don't go and inspect the property. Because that was basically what I told my brother yesterday. I'm not going to go inspect the property a wholesaler is trying to sell me. He needs to send me all the details by email so I can look at it and see if it's a waste of time. Usually it is a waste of time. But again, you don't want to lose that connection because that's a relationship that you can use in your business. You can network with them. But don't go wasting time. Don't drive all the way. Because I would be driving about 40 minutes to go see that property yesterday. And I basically said, nah, I'm not going. He needs to send me all the information. He called me about a property that's worth $400,000. And he wants $325,000 for it. That right off the bat is like, no. Like, no. So when I did my math, my offer for the property was coming to about $240 already. Just based on the comps. And I didn't have to leave my house to do that quick math. Okay, I have a very simple Excel sheet that I put together, slots in the numbers, and it looks like 240. And it's too far. Is my number not accurate? Maybe it's not, but it's too far off. He's looking for 325. That's a retail deal. Maybe not retail all the way, but close. It's more of a retail deal from what I'm looking at. And he needs to tell me everything that's going on, basically, if I'm going to do business with them. In the meanwhile, we can connect, we can stay connected. They can be added to my list because you never know where your next buyer is coming from. Just leverage it as network. So what's going on with these 6 properties that, yes, you're right. It's a wholesaler trying to wholesale other properties to you. It could be a realtor. Bottom line is that there's no room for creativity here, because as a real estate wholesaler, you're looking for people that are open to creativity, people that are motivated sellers that need to get rid of a property. They absolutely need to get rid of a property. If they don't need to get rid of the property, you will be wasting your time, and that's not gonna fly well for you. Does that make sense? So hopefully that was helpful. If you want to learn how to use digital marketing to create a network that you can bring deals, attract deals to yourself and things like that, I cover that in Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, the book, and you can download it with this link right here. If you're on YouTube, just click on that, or you could go to smartrealestatewholesaling.com. Click like, subscribe, share your information with me, share your questions with me, and click on the red button below to subscribe, and click on the bell right next to it to join the notification gang. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.